Okay, with HTML, as we know, we can't have the same element coming in with the same ID name. So each ID has to be a unique name. So when we see this, this would be illegal because of the rules, general rules for HTML. So what you have to go in and indicate is with an ID, you have to make it unique. And the way to do it is typically with a counter. So in this example here, what they have is they have a add function, which is adding a paragraph to this div section. Okay, and it's going to add that paragraph every 1 second. So in theory, what we have here is we have an add function, and all it's doing is saying, okay, take a look at this section and let's append this paragraph tag. So every 1 second we could have 20 paragraph tags, but what makes it unique? So the way to make it unique is to add a counter, and to do this, this is what's going to happen, but it doesn't specific, if we want to select that second one, it's hard to do so. So what they have here in this example, they create a global variable, okay, called count 0. Just a global variable is just out there. It's not nothing major on that. And then in the example, what they're doing is they're adding a ID, and this is where you have to go in and just give it a unique name and you incorporate the variable. What will happen here is after you incorporate the ID name with that new, so it'll be saying P0, you have to have something that counts up afterwards. So you put something in there that counts up 1. So when we run the add function again, now the counter is set to 1, and now it'll be P1, P2. So it will look like this. Now, once you have that set up correctly, most of the issue here is usually just apostrophes and quotation marks set up perfectly on that aspect. Okay. Then, of course, what you do is just simply a count plus plus like this. Okay. And so what will happen, that will generally go in and create that unique ID. Okay. Now what you need to do is, and this is where I mean, they give you kind of some examples, but there's so many different ways of doing it. So I don't kind of point you because you should have enough information on this. But basically what you have to do is you have to find that new ID, and then you have to go in and tell it to remove or be replaced and so forth. So typically what will happen here is that you'll have, most of the time you'll have it right, you can set it right here in the add, like your add function. Okay. One of the things that some people do is they'll create a variable with that counter ID name. So like for example, you can say, like for example, var name, a equals string hashtag see here, yeah, hashtag plus hashtag p, and actually we probably would want to put the variable before the count plus plus, but what you do is you can have the p plus count, something like that, and then you can find that name and then tell it to do whatever you want with that. So this next part, to that part is that you got to use your commands that you need to go in and use jQuery, use those commands that you can need to look at, see what you can do.